Hey, it's Greg Otten here with MaritimeGardening.com. I was just pulling some potatoes here in one of my hugelkultur beds, and I just noticed something I thought I'd share with you. When you grow potatoes, and you know, potatoes make flowers, and sometimes the flowers make these like tomato-looking things, right? You can't eat these; they're not good. they're toxic, as far as I understand. But anyway, when the potato produces these big, fat, tomato-looking things, in my experience, and I'm interested to hear the comments of the viewers, it usually means you got some pretty big potatoes. So, I mean, I just pulled a couple plants, and I got some nice, I got a good sized hand. That's that's about a 4-incher there, 4-inch diameter, right? I'll pull some more. We'll do the little potato reveal. Not that I haven't done a few of these. I grow a lot of potatoes because they're good for you and they're easy to grow. They grow really well where I am here in Nova Scotia, Canada, and they're basically for me the go-to calorie crop. Right, the thing that I grow here that produces the most amount of food with the least amount of work, stores really well. Cook it in lots of different ways. Different varieties grow really well. This is I believe a red Norland, right? So let's pull some of these babies and have a look at the size of these things. All right, so just working my way through here, just sort of pulling them out and see what comes out with the plant. All the plants have these crazy looking, berries on them. So yeah, it usually means good potatoes. There's a nice one. It's a good day to harvest potatoes. It's been dry the last few days, so that means that it doesn't take much. When you want to store potatoes, you want them nice and dry, and these are basically dry, right? So it's good. So all I do is I just pull them out. My soil's so soft because I have everything mulched all the time, right? I grew these potatoes under heavy mulch. All I did was jam them in about 8 inches deep under the soil, and then I covered it with about a foot of mulch and didn't do anything the rest of the season. Haven't done a thing for this bed. Alright, so that's the first part. Now let's just move this mulch aside and see what's underneath that didn't come up with the actual plant, right? Let's see what we got here that I missed. There's some nice ones, right? There's a whole nother variety here. I don't even remember planting these. I think these were volunteer, because I planted red Norlands here as far as I can recall. That's like I believe a Kennebec. Really good variety to grow in this part of the world, Kennebec. Seem to be resistant to a lot of problems that exist here. Seem to be resistant to, scab and that sort of stuff. And the soil is bone dry. So the bed I'm working in here is about 4 feet wide by about 6 feet, I guess, give or take. I get what I can with my bare hands, and then I go to work with a tool. That's my system anyway, and I usually find I get most of them that way. You always miss a couple, but that's just the way it goes. It's good to get as many as you can with your bare hands, because tools tend to mar the plants like that, right? I stuck that one, so that's one of the ones I can't store. Right, that'll have to be eaten. Look at all the potatoes coming to this. It's just ridiculous. With no work and no problems. Oh, definitely got the wrong footwear, and I can't harvest the whole bed because I got these squash growing back here, and they've gone into that area there. See, the squash have gone here, and I don't want to interrupt or damage the squash plants. So I'll just harvest what I can. Yeah. Gotta get in here. Just harvest what I can, but I don't want to damage these squash vines at all because they're still growing. So I'll just do what I can. I just think you really can't go wrong with a crop of potatoes anywhere. If you don't know what to plant somewhere, plant potatoes because they keep well, they store well, they're good for you, they taste good. These are completely organic. I'm just going to pick what comes up easy here, and I'm not going to get too crazy back into this corner because I don't want to damage the vines of the squash that are growing up in the bushes there. Alright, I think I've taken that about as far as I can take it without messing up the potatoes too much. There's still some in there, but I'm just going to have to leave them alone. So I'll just fire this mulch back on top, and I'll give that a good going over once when the squash are harvested. Right? Just throw all this rubbish back on top and forget about it for now. Nice and lazy and easy. There we go. Anyway, not a bad haul, about 15 pounds of potatoes. Weekday gardening. I thought I'd just do a little video to show the sort of things I do on regular weekdays. I don't come out here every night, but tonight was a good night. I was out mowing the lawn earlier, and I had supper, and then I came out and I decided, it's been dry the last few days. It's probably a good day to pick some potatoes because it'll be easy to dry. It's easy to, if you're going to put your potatoes in storage, you have to dry them out. And it's a lot easier to do if they're already dry. And these are pretty darn dry. There's only a couple of these that have a bit of sort of moisture on them. Most of them are quite dry. So all I'm going to do is I put a piece of cardboard on the floor of my garage, right? Basically a place, out of the weather sort of thing. And spread the potatoes down on that gently. Put a cloth or another piece of cardboard on top of them. Leave them like that for a couple of days to dry out, right? There's a fan on in my garage moving the air around. If you have some sort of setup where there's just natural airflow, it's even better, but I haven't got that. Then I just put them in a nice clean cardboard box and close the box up. Put a couple layers of newspaper on. I'll store the potatoes in tiers, right? I'll put a layer of potatoes and a couple layers of newspaper and then a layer of potatoes and that sort of thing. Just put them in a cardboard box and close it up and stuff them in my garage and just eat them. And I make a note on the box which ones I put down first, right? So it's only September right now, right? And these potatoes are done. So I'm harvesting the potatoes in the order that they've died, right? So these are some of the first ones. The first ones that dies, I've harvested them all and I've eaten almost all of them. And now these ones, and there's another part in my garden where they have to be harvested, so I'll harvest those next. And then the next week I'll harvest the ones that died next, and so on and so forth. It sounds complicated, but it really isn't. I'll just mark on here, first week of September, second week of September, third week. And that way you know sort of what order to eat them in. Also, you've got to make note of the variety, right? This variety, these red ones, I don't find they keep quite as well as these sort of rougher skinned type kinds, right? This is, I believe these are Kennebecs based on the shape. They may be russet Burbanks, but I don't think so. I think they're Kennebecs, but for all intents and purposes, they're a very similar kind of potato, russet Burbank and Kennebec. The sort of rougher skin kind I find keep better. So you make note of that on the box too. Try to store your potatoes in batches of like kinds, because they have different storage times. It sounds more complicated than it is. It really isn't. You just write, you know, rough. That's all I do. These are smooth. These are rough. So I'll just write rough or smooth and the date. And then I know, you know, I got to eat all the smooth ones first and then the rough ones, and so on and so forth. All right, I hope you found that useful. I hope they gave you some food for thought, some, you know, something to think about, a strategy for your garden for next year and that sort of thing. And if it did, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.